in this podcast?
I was laughing because Uncle Flav was saying something really, really funny.
Tell him. Don't hide him from these things. Tell him what I was saying. It's the Tottenham boys making all the noise.
Wow.
There was no noise.
No, it's in. Yeah. Didn't seem to be much noise, was there? Was it? There wasn't many people there, was there? 50 odd, 54. Only 200. Villarreal didn't bring many. Shame on them.
250. They don't really travel, do they?
They don't travel well. They certainly don't travel well. No, clearly.
I think that this is it. I mean, it's an interesting talking point. Maybe we'll start here, but there is, as a fan, it's your job to berate and belittle and criticise and laugh at other football clubs, right?
At every opportunity.
At every opportunity. But at some point, you've got to stop laughing and realise they want us to laugh at each other here. Because you ignore the main issues, which is Tottenham versus Villarreal, whether it's in Europa League, Conference League, or the Champions League, is not exciting. And which is fine. But when you're asking some fans to pay £109 to watch 90 minutes of football against a team that in a stage of the competition where there is very little jeopardy, you're asking a lot from people. So
it's a good point. There's I think just to say, like, in terms of that, so yeah, is that your point then? Why is that game not important?
It is important. All the games are important. It's just relative to other games. Like when it's so.
I think we need to sit on that. I think we need to talk about that. I think it's a problem. Like it's obviously a problem. And it's natural, but I think because there are so many games of football now, you are sort of skimming through them all to see and I know that's natural and normal and has always been occurring, but it's getting to the point where people just don't even want to look at another game because it's got to be Bayern Munich, Chelsea, or Newcastle, Barcelona, of which I'm very excited about. I mean, Newcastle, maybe that's a different one, not the best example, but when we had a meeting about the next few months and stuff and having a look at stuff, and you look at the fixtures and you think about what you're going to do there, and I found myself skimming, waiting to find two big teams. I know this is all normal stuff, but I also think we have to. I think we need to look at it a little bit, and it's because of the amount of games. I think.
Yeah, and I would say it's across football. The saturation point. When does it become oversaturated? There's no scarcity of football. There's a game every day, pretty much, and that feeds into it as well. You get it's too much. You can watch your team play every kick of the ball, whether illegally or otherwise, and then on top of the fact that there's two more group games in the Champions League. People, and we're in a major cost of living issue at the moment. It's so expensive, and the clubs are not relenting. And look, we want them to buy all the players and sign all the players and pay them all the wages. That's what we demand. So there's an irony in the fact that you're saying, well, we can't afford to go and watch these players that we want you to buy. I would right now, given the shit that's going on, and I'm in a really fortunate position where I'm not worrying about heat in my house. I'm not worried about having food on the table. I'm worrying about affording to do other things that I've brought on myself, like try and do my house up, right? So there was no way I could prioritize spending £109. And it isn't just for me where I am. It's not £109. It's £109 plus £95 for a train ticket, plus a few beers and some food. It's £300.
Is that everything? Is that everything you're buying? Is that everything? Just
back in the day, maybe.
That's everything?
You don't want to. No, I mean... Sure. A bag. Got to get a bag.
Yeah, you get a bag. You get a shirt. Get a
shirt, bag, a bag that goes in a shirt that goes in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just
that's getting that's getting close to £2,000.
And you talk about the mighty R's. How much it cost to to cost to?
Do you know what? I got
watch them play.
Well, on that point, we do fleece. I'm sort of willing to say this. We do fleece the away fans. We really do.
Good.
Yeah, is that like? Yeah, is that all right? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. It's the other team, isn't it? That's what football's all about, isn't it? Bashing the other team. What? In what way do they get fleeced?
Because I think the I've gone blank there for a second. Why have I gone blank? Ali. I've forgotten Ali's. What's his name? He's my mate. Ali, not the Top 20 podcast. There's Ali and what's the other guy's name? I've gone blank. That is horrific.
He'll be watching this.
What's wrong with me? I
Maxwell.
can't remember his... No.
Oh.
What is wrong with me? George. Of course it's fucking George.
Mate,
sorry.
I have that. Sometimes I look at you and I can't remember your name. Sometimes
have you ever forgotten my name?
A couple of times, yeah.
That's amazing.
No, but it isn't me forgetting your name.
Yeah.
I mean, I know in practice it is, but it's my brain spasming.
Yeah, I think that's what's just happened there. And maybe a bit of panic for me of like, when you're like, oh, I can't find it. Oh, no, I really can't find it. I really can't. It's that. And so George Ellick, the beloved George Ellick, who will inevitably see this and hate me now.
No, you won't.
Apologies. Yeah, QPR charging 30, messaged me saying they're charging 39 quid for away fans for Oxford on a Tuesday night, which maybe that sounds cheap to you. I don't know, but I said it's Isaac Hayden tax. He
how much did you say it was?
39 quid. So does that feel cheap to you? That's cheap to you, I'm guessing.
I think it's relative, isn't it, to the standard of football and the dross you're having to watch. So, yeah, for 39 quid, perhaps it's still expensive, but it's affordable. Like I'd happily spend 30 quid and go and watch QPR if that's what I was going to do. But it's like football, and I think about. And I've mentioned it a lot. I think about those kids that were sitting on the left hand side at QPR, and I'm singing and not obsessing over Premier League footballers or money, but just supporting their football club. I think that actually, to some degree, in the conventional sense, Premier League football clubs will eat themselves. That's not to suggest that they will go away or suffer a burst bubble and they won't be able to pay the way. They will continue to generate huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
But what we consider to be genuine football, as we remember it, will disappear. It will, and it's a shame.
I know this is a. Hopefully this is interesting for a lot of you because like some of you guys might not be able to get to games, which obviously, you're around the world or whatever it might be. Or, again, like you say, that like the finances or just availability or whatever it might be.
Listen, they'll listen to what we have to say and that's it.
No, yeah, good point. But I've done it again. My brain's going again. No, but a lot of fans, it'd be interesting to know how many of young fans go to the games are just disenfranchised fans of Premier League clubs at this stage. And that 3 p.m. blackout that everyone kind of rolls their eyes at. I'm not saying I know anything here. We're just talking, aren't we? But if all those games are on telly, and I know you can go and get them. Maybe I'm talking rubbish, but like I was going to say, like when those games are on at a 3 p.m. or more importantly, they're on at other times, that gives space for football fans to go to other teams and watch those other teams. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that there's this footage of Spurs fans singing a song in a concourse, and you see it throughout all of the Premier League. That the atmosphere is when and that kind of element of togetherness is most evident in the concourses now and in pubs. But you get into the ground and it's almost like it sucks it out of you. It's I don't know what it is. It's just it's so like there's videos upon videos after we win a game of everyone celebrating together and dancing and chanting and singing songs and it being incredible. And then the minute you get in the stadium and it's either through neglect from the clubs or certainly at Tottenham a neglect to nurture this energy that exists, especially youthful energy. And so when you go out into the stadium, all of that energy that you left, it is sucked out. It's like a vacuum. And this at Spurs is a particular thing, right? We have a return to the shelf movement. is it Return to the Shelf? Return of the Shelf. There's the Tottenham flags, which the club are now working with regularly. But what they try to do.
Don't get me started on flags, mate. Don't get me started on flags.
No, I don't want to talk about the flags.
Obsession with flags. Good grief.
But there was this opportunity with the previous administration at Tottenham for them to work with these supporters groups to bring together like-minded fans, to give them a place to live inside the stadium.
So obvious, isn't this? Isn't this so obvious?
It's so obvious, mate. It doesn't make it. It seems to work with the fans. The fans will work with you. You create a better atmosphere. Do you know what they said? We'll trial a singing section. We'll trial a singing section. Now, I hate the word fucking singing section, right?
Yeah.
We'll
and
trial
trial as well.
Trial, yeah. And then they go, okay, but it's a game against, I can't remember the game it was. It was a cup game. And do you know what the club did? This was their attempt to trial a singing section. They emailed season ticket holders who have a seat in that block that they allocated for the singers. They emailed and said, by the way, this is a designated singing section for this game. An email that no one reads the club's emails when you get them.
Yeah, true.
So when they got there, it was the same people in the same seats with no idea what was happening. And it's sporadically placed. There were the people that decided to buy tickets in that area because they thought it was a singing section. Nothing happened. It didn't work. Yeah. The club were fucking useless. So, but whereas kind of the homestyle fanatics at Crystal Palace, I don't know how easy it was for them to get to where they are now. But eventually the club worked with them. And now that Crystal Palace have certainly the best atmosphere in the Premier League, for sure.
I was listening to a Newcastle podcast, and they were talking about like they're all spending loads and loads of money to, get themselves ready for Newcastle Barcelona's today. But again, that's like, and then it just caught my ear the idea that they're paying for that themselves as well. And I just thought,
is this a tifo?
Yeah, and I thought like that's
the club.
I guess you have to commit your money at times, right, for all these things. But like, again, it's another expense.
And what you're saying, paying for a tifo? You sort of paying for square plastic pieces.
Yeah,
that to hold up. What's that going to set the club back?
Is it that, or is it just one big flag? Isn't it? I know my tifo knowledge isn't great.
Nor am I. I mean, we have our tifo yesterday was holding up square bits of paper. Right. In a pre-designed way. It looked really good the other day, rather.
Jack Ward is a fantastic content creator and Oxford fan. If you want to pop in the studio, be intrigued to get your take on it. You're saying it's a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot of money, isn't it? Obviously. Our beloved patrons are watching this with us. If you want to join us, then you can do. Links in the description. Also, crucially, we had a problem technically with the mailbag yesterday, so we're going to do it today at 4 p.m. Guys, for those of you with us, and you guys, well, it'll be too late now, so don't worry about it. Anyway, Stoko Pops, one of our beloveds, says drums are worse than flags, Jim. Depends what's on the drum. Depends what the message of the drum is. But I do agree, drums are hard work. You don't want to be near a drum.
When Spurs had a drum for about 10 years. And then the bloke who had the drum turned out he didn't have a season ticket and just used the drum to get in every single episode. Every single game.
Episode, yeah.
And what
it's an episode in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose in a way. But there was essentially this gate that you could get access to the to where the section was where he would drum in the shelf. And he would just turn up with his drum and they'd let him in because he was the drummer. Right. But yeah, he didn't have a season ticket.
Wow.
So it got that's why it disappeared. He got banned. But we really loved it at Spurs. We thought it was like a part of the identity of the sound of the stadium. And really? The problem is, and we tried to get it back, is the club said you can have it back, but you're not allowed to start yid chants. You're not allowed to start like do yids. You're not allowed to do that. The club can't be seen to be condoning this. And then it would just sort of die to death. Like it's been sung every week, so we can't do it with a drum. What does it even mean?
But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it. Do you know what I find? The good thing of a drum is the guy with the drum, because the guy doing the drum or any percussion at football is is a unique personality for me, because you got to be able to like deal with that noise. You got to have like high energy for a lot of it. You also kind of want to be the guy, but like the drum is the manly way of going, because you can start chants for singing, and like there's, you know, like at QPR there's good people that will kind of can kick it off, but it's not as manly as a drum. And I think there's something alpha about it.
Do you remember when we was watching England for Slovakia, and we were right behind the England band?
Yeah.
And I think we had to move, or I felt like we had to move. It was so fucking loud. I couldn't hear myself think.
Can't take. Oh, the England band, it's shit.
You think shit?
I think it's shit because the reason I think it's not shit. Obviously, they're wonderful. They're wonderful what they do. They show a lot of energy. They travel around the world. I'm not trying to belittle that at all. There's a deeper problem at the root of this, whereas there's not enough songs for England because, you know, our history is bleak. So, and I think we've probably England. I don't know if England more so than maybe other countries. I don't know. I'm not sure how much we come together. So in terms of thinking of new songs and being excited to sing those songs and get those songs going, I think like Welsh fans or Scottish fans or Irish fans, there's a sort of there's an easier togetherness for those guys. Whereas I think in England, it's a bit trickier.
I really enjoyed when we went and followed England. Can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. Phil Foden's on fire.
But he wasn't.
No,
that was the problem. He was like,
he
couldn't have been more damp. But he also, that's really great the first 5 times. But we had you can love a song, but if you listen to it too many times, it's just too much by the end of it. Least favourite chant, Jack's asking. I am not a fan of one na 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 one. No, actually, do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate? I hate it. What is that? It's the same one. I just realised. Is come on Rangers, because it's like basically we're saying we're not happy right now. Do better, and I don't really think it does any good. My least favourite in the past was when Spurs were really good and we battered everyone at home. We went undefeated at home. We used to sing la la la. That's the worst. La 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 la. Couldn't get any more basic or bad. It's slow.
La la la.
A lot of teams do that though.
Your shit. La 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 la. And then you're like, this is definitely going to come back and bite us on the last one.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. Yeah, generally like too early when you're 1-0 up, or at any stage really, just kind of unless there's a 2-goal lead, don't go too. I don't like it. And actually, I got that wrong. It was come on Rangers, come on Rangers.
Pretty dull.
It's just like it's not the tempo that you need to get it going, I think.
Yeah.
So football, innit? I mean, there was a big response last week to your a couple of comments you made. I'll be honest. I would like to talk about. We're going to talk about Ange. Talk about Tottenham.
Yeah, mate, I've got some interesting things about Ange and what's happening at the moment, mate. It's just, but tell me the comments first. But
we do a couple of
it's a weird reaction to to Nottingham Forest losing last night, and I just wondered what your take. Might be.
We'll get to that. So, big laugh award. A couple of things caught my eye, made me laugh. Mick Frank 1992 said came for the football chat, left remembering the good achievements of Robert McGarvey.
Look, he's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave it. Just leave it.
Yeah, I'm we're going to read these out once, and I think best to move on. Revo said, I think Flav's Mugabe take just justified the move to the shed. So that's good. And El Guapo, and this is true. This actually happened. He said, I just bumped into James at the gym. We exchanged pleasantries. He was a very nice lad. And he expressed amusement as I confessed myself as a dry slug straight away. Did the thing. I am dry. I was like, it's fine, mate.
It ain't fine.
Then we had this. And because he said, I'm listening to you right now. Look. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I was like, that's cool.
That's cool.
And it's one of those when, it was good. We had a good exchange and then he was off, right? But you are in the same building. And the problem with the gym is that you are sort of moving to different sections of the gym. So he then goes on to say, I then, brackets, awkwardly sat opposite him doing cable rows as he did pull downs. Absolutely 100% true. Because I remember thinking, you're listening to me talking shit whilst I'm grimacing trying to get one more out. I was thinking, this is tough for you. Like, I'm not too bothered, I'll be honest, but this must be weird for you. And he said, as he did pull downs whilst I listened to Flav compare Daniel Levy to Mugabe. Best Friday afternoon ever.
That's good. I feel fine with that. I stand by that statement.
It was good.
You messaged me afterwards. Was that okay?
Yeah. This is how I said it in my inner monologue. I was like, is that safe?
Yeah. He's not like. Look, I don't want to bring up Robert Mugabe again, but we're not talking about fucking Idi Amin or Pol Pot here.
Well, I did think, is there a weird tier list bit here? You give us 5 in a criteria, and we'll do. It doesn't have to. I mean, I'm not sure dictators is the way to go. I'll be honest. But
we know number 1 is for sure. We don't have to debate that one. We could debate.
Is he your favourite? Who's your favourite?
No favourites. No favourites. Obviously, it's terrible. They're all bastards, aren't they?
Of course.
But you're thinking I think we'd get stuck debating Pol Pot and Idi. We'll get stuck debating Pol Pot and Idi Amin for sure.
Sorry, someone wrote Thogden. That's quality. And that reminds me, actually, the person who wrote that, won't say his government name, but if you go back to the previous episodes, you can hear it. He gave me a intro for
my government name. Again. Wow.
Wow. Something I like. If something's worthy of me going, wow, then it's good. So here we go. This is So he said this is following the outpouring of emotion last week as Flav didn't manage to get Radiohead tickets, which we'll get to. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail. Spurs looked like they had everything in its right place, while Man United's poor performance against City brought no surprises. Forest under Ange resembled fake plastic trees rather than the real deal. Meanwhile, Burnley felt let down at the end of their game against Liverpool as Hannibal left his team high and dry.
Nice.
I'll stop there, but it's okay, Flav. You can spend the money on a strumpet. It's episode 5. Here come the trumpets. Very good. And he's officially ran out of rhymes for trumpets, he says.
I think we were talking about crumpets, which is like this is a mailbag discussion, so feel free to become a moist slug and become a patron, and you can listen to our mailbag conversations. Last week was a particular high point where we were going through the best crumpets. And now, if you remember what a crumpet is, this is a kind of woman I find attractive, like Susanna Reid, for example. Like, these are middle-aged women who have a few things to say. But ideally are curvy too. Oh yeah. And that's why she's a crumpet. This was probably not appropriate in the modern era, but I'm still comfortable saying. So
what, back in the day, is that what a crumpet? What a crumpet was someone who had something to say.
No, it was a kind of, I would say, a middle class, slightly sort of xenophobic, attractive woman.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, which you're not claiming Susanna Reid is. It just I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I just find it very attractive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked about 30 minutes for that, so
we did.
Become a moisty.
I'm
getting a lot of abuse. I'm just scouring through the comments in last week's episode, and quite a lot of abuse. Quite a lot of people just not understanding my position and frustration.
On the tickets.
Flav seems to be a bit let down, which is it's playful. Play on words and that, but
yeah, I've got a few here, which I thought you might enjoy.
You've collected some of you.
Yeah, have. And just this did make me laugh, and like, I'm not. What you will learn if you do the mailbags, which is probably not the best sale, is I sort of I'm into football, so often like Flav will be just taking in culture and stuff like that, as will our beloved patrons, and then you'll have to explain that to me. But it allows us to unpack it once more in a fresh way.
Yeah, there's shit that goes on in the world that James is oblivious
do you know what's good though? I'm growing because I'm actually really trying to sort of learn more, to know more about what's actually going on, but not crap, but like actual important stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing, James. I think what you're doing thus far has got you here, and
maybe
I don't think you need to. Yeah.
Well,
we'll talk about it at 4 o'clock.
Education, yeah. Matthew DeFork says, "Can't believe Uncle Pooh said Mugabe was net positive," and then the replies made me laugh. I can't believe James threw Tony Blair in as a better option. Surely we could do better than that guy. James said, Blair is far worse. He's culpable for the Iraq War, as well as lowering the drawbridge to the UK. Alex Green then made me laugh by going, Blair worse than Mugabe. Game's gone.
Blair was not worse than Mugabe. Come on. Blair was like, we had a really strong economy when Blair was our prime minister.
But he made a big mistake. There's a bit. Who is the footballing equivalent of Tony Blair?
What footballers made the biggest mistake, despite doing all right
outside of football or on the pitch?
No, on the pitch, football. Like it can be around football. What the worst mistakes footballers have ever made? That's good. This is strong. It's a strong bit.
Okay, worst mistakes footballers made. Make them funny. I'd also like to know. So
yeah, we don't want to know about some of the terrible things. Like it's got to be funny.
Keep it light.
Like,
keep it light.
Thomas Partey or anything like that. I don't want none of that.
Yeah. Jack Ward says Gerrard, Rob Green, Karen Fraser. I'm not sure where that's come from. But Tony Blair. If Tony Blair was, who's the footballing equivalent of Tony Blair? I'm intrigued. I think made one incredibly large mistake that has tainted him forever. But prior to that, I think his intentions were good. I think he got lost in the sauce a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cozy King said, I can't believe I got tickets for radio. This is the top this is the top comment last week. Tom Barton. Well, I got 6 tickets for Radiohead, buzzing to finally hear Creep, Fake Plastic Trees, and No Surprises live after discovering the band earlier this week. 18 replies on that. Lots were funny, but I thought this was good. Halves to Mystery said, Wonderwall was going to blow your socks off. Cozy King said, can't believe I got tickets for Radiohead, my first ever gig. Never actually heard any of their songs before, but I've heard they're decent. I guess I better get listening to their albums on Spotify. Moderately excited.
Moderately excited.
Someone called them Head Radio. That was good. Here's a top comment. This made me laugh. One word in this made me laugh. So this is from Niche McPhail, who's been punchy with his logo, which is just a Nottingham Forest logo. So he's definitely a Nottingham Forest fan, so he's in the know. Now, we were talking about the fallout from last week, and we can touch on Ange. He's not the best week.
Can I just quickly address something? A couple of people are saying I don't like Moonshaped Pool. I do like Moonshaped Pool. There are no bad Radiohead albums apart from, I never listened to Pablo Honey ever, but I've listened to all of the others religiously. I didn't say it was did I say shittest album? There are no bad Radiohead albums. There are none.
Okay. Niche McPhail.
I've fucking had enough of this.
Rattled. Niche
I'll
McPhail.
Get in there one way or another, you slag.
Well, do you know what? Someone said, there was one comment where someone said, this Turkish girl, I don't know why he said Turkish girl. This Turkish girl I know who I've got with a couple of times. She's got 2 tickets. She's asked me if I wanted to go, but I don't really want to go. So maybe you could have that ticket.
No, I've got a connection. I've found a way in.
I know a couple of other people. Oh, do you? Good lad.
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about this? I was chatting to Neve this week. She's on the pod this week. She said Ellis Platten's got some tickets. Radiohead.
Good for him.
Yeah. And he got in a bit of trouble because he sort of apparently posted on the story that he'd got them and then got a lot of abuse because I think obviously a lot of people like yourself might have missed out, felt a bit annoyed.
Yeah, I know you
happy for Ellis. Deserved.
I feel nothing about it. Really,
he's probably really into them.
What are they? Why did Neve? Are they like an item? Neve and Ellis?
No. Ellis has his own
Are they
girlfriend.
friends or something?
Yeah, they're good friends. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, because Neve is such a lovely person.
Mm-hmm.
If she somehow benefits from this, then fine.
That's very nice. I think she is going as well. Yeah, I think he's got loads. He's just throwing them out. Yeah. Anyway, Nish McPhail said, Nottingham Forest logo. He said there may be outside confusion. There may be outside NFFC confusion over the leadership structure, but it remains clear and simple. This is the bit that made me laugh. So he basically then runs through the structure, but he starts it like this. He goes, Evangelos Marinakis. He's got everyone's job title. So he goes, Evangelos Marinakis, owner and fan. Chairman, the fact that he put fan.
Owner and fan.
I don't think he's trying to be funny there. Owner and fan. Owner first, fan second. Chairman Nicholas Randall, KC. Chief Executive Officer, Lena Saluku. Chief Executive Football Officer, Ross Wilson, though he might leave for Newcastle. Head of Player Recruitment, Pedro Ferreira. Edu Gasper's role is not that of a Director of Football. It is broader. His official title is Head of Football, Global Football Group.
Yeah, for all of the clubs.
Which oversees the 3 current clubs, NFFC, Olympiacos, Rio Ave, and of course you've got Botafogo there if you want to do a bit of business. As well as future clubs under his responsibility for player identification, transfers, and other operations. Nish McPhail, I'd love to ask you a question. My question is this. How do you feel about your club, I guess your owner, owning other clubs, and you're all in bed together? How do you feel about that?
I think you'd feel fine as long as it benefits your football club. And then
I'd imagine that is the case. I don't know what that feeling would be like. I'm intrigued by that. I'm intrigued by how Chelsea fans feel. Have you got other clubs?
No. Enoch used to have interest in Rangers and Ike Athens. Yep. But they sold them all basically and just went for Spurs. But
right.
It's something fishy going on. It's a way to circumnavigate rules, in my opinion.
I think it's not even. Yeah, it doesn't even feel fishy anymore. It feels quite glaring.
Yeah, fishy would suggest that what are they up to? Whereas it's clear what you're up to.
Yeah, it feels pretty blatant to me. I'll be honest, but obviously somehow is within some version of the rules, I presume. Tough week for Ange. The response was quick. Both, I guess, from the club, and it was all looking good. 2-0 up, and then
playing good football.
Yeah, and then lost. Is it? Go on. How do you feel about this? I think it is really interesting. The explosive response, probably not from Nottingham Forest fans, but from the rest of the footballing world, maybe.
What did you think it went further than Palace and Spurs fans enjoying that result?
I think I've got a theory that I think you've put into my head.
Yeah.
But I think it does feel valid. So
yeah.
I'm going to bring in Harry Kane here. Okay. So I was listening to BBC Sounds and Mark Chapman was brilliant. He was saying, he was talking about Harry Kane and saying like, have you seen Harry Kane's record for Bayern Munich?
Insane. It's insane.
It's incredible. Hang on, my finger's stuck. But I'll find the stats in a second. Or maybe you can find it for me. You find the stats for me whilst I make the point. Harry Kane, he's gone to Bayern Munich, and obviously everyone was like Premier League goal record or go to Bayern Munich, right? And they were trying to figure out why is Harry Kane kind of not as lauded as, say, a Jude Bellingham has been at Real Madrid, right? Different positions, like fair, but Harry Kane's record is absolutely sensational. Yet people, I don't know if it's just because he's always scored goals and continues to score goals, if it's that. But Mark Chapman was basically talking about how like it's outrageous how he doesn't get the credit he deserves, and then people started to. Julian Laurent made the point that maybe because Jude Bellingham went to Real Madrid and won the Champions League in his first season. Of course, didn't win the league, I don't think, did they? Or did they win the league as well? Maybe they did, sorry. No, I think they might have. But yeah, because he won the Champions League and Harry Kane hasn't won the Champions League yet, is it that? They was putting that forward. And then they started talking about the Michael Owen thing. About Michael Owen was quite firm in that interview where he was saying, what is he doing? Why has he gone to the Bundesliga? So they were then kind of suggesting that maybe the Bundesliga doesn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
But I think there's a debate to be had in terms of La Liga versus Bundesliga. Like, which one is harder overall, over like a whole season? That would be an interesting conversation. I don't totally know the answer, but I don't think there's like ginormous gaps. Probably Barcelona and Real Madrid are like are further, and you've got Bayern Munich and then kind of the rest. But that other pack is maybe better than some of the other teams. Who knows, right?
Yep.
But the theory that you kind of, I think, have popped into my head at times, and I think there is something in it, is that I think a lot of fans of other clubs don't like Spurs. They might not be their number one rivals. They might not be their number one rivals, but there is a disdain. There is a, like, if you're a West Ham fan or a Spurs fan, or an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan, there's a lot of sort of dislike for them, right? So I feel like the opportunity to jump on Ange or to not give Harry Kane the credit he maybe deserves is available to people, and they're quite happy to jump into that. But maybe I'm making it up.
No, I think a lot of this comes down to rivalry. I think Harry Kane doesn't get the respect that he deserves because he played for Tottenham for so long and he didn't win anything. And so there is that issue. But with Ange Postecoglou, it just feels like what was strange about it yesterday for me, Jim, was Spurs fans going for him.
Were they?
I didn't, and that's
a shame.
I have since sort of I tweeted saying I find this really strange. Why are Spurs fans sort of enjoying his failure so much? And it became apparent to me because they were telling me on Twitter is that there were a lot of people out there that didn't like Ange when they were Spurs manager, and it was clear, but I thought it was a minority. The amount of people, and it probably is still a minority. The amount of people just start taking glee in the fact that you failed last night as a Spurs fan.
Is there something deeper? Is there something deeper at play here in the sense of like people are unwilling to reset? Like if you were Ange out and you sort of, that's the thing now. Like, right, everyone's got such a mouthpiece in terms of Twitter, right? So if you are putting your voice out there, your opinion out there, you're then kind of stuck by that. Like similar maybe with, political views or views on things generally. Like if you're putting it out there and it's there on the internet forever, you then feel maybe beholden to that. And there's this huge desire to be correct. So then when he's kind of gone, you want to go see.
I think that's a massive part of it. But this is a genuine response here from someone on Twitter who says, I cannot stand the bloke. Really think we won the cup despite him. For the first time in my life, I lost a bit of love for football last season, and it was on him. He was arrogant, self-important, and utterly useless, and as we will all see again. I mean, it's much more technical and nuanced than that, but that's how he felt.
Yeah, I mean, I guess your football team is important to you.
Literally just won a trophy. Yeah. It's like the bbest night of our lives. Some of us.
Two things could be true though, can't they? Like it was arduous, right?
Yes.
And I think it's because I think when he lost last night, like in my WhatsApp groups, the thing that people were waiting for is the interview after, of him kind of looking at the ground, being a bit upset, whatever. I think that specifically, I think that's rubbed people up the wrong way as much as anything else. I think even if he was losing, playing in a certain way, but had just a bit more of a smile on his face.
I think and obviously the media loving when he first joined Tottenham was big. Like even I was aware of it at the time, going, this feels like a lot, but fine, it's a positive talking. People are talking positively about our football club, and then for him to become so sullen and kind of snappy and snippy, and that people didn't like it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
but mate, there were times when I think about him, and he's like. The way he spoke, regardless, he was always defensive of the club. And I know the football was awful. And I know it didn't work. And it started brilliantly, but the injuries were in part down to the way he played. I know all those things, but I think regardless of that, he always spoke and defended the club and was defensive of us, and always was an us versus them mentality. And so you remember that and you think, I don't wish Ill. I hope he does well. I don't want Forest to do well. I don't want any football club in the Premier League to do well because that impacts us. But I want him to go on and be a success and achieve the things he wants to achieve. That's my position. I just don't think he can do it in the Premier League.
Why don't you think you can do it in the Premier League?
He's just too gung-ho.
Is it a gung-ho thing? But it's the inability. I think it's such a buzz thing at the moment. Obviously, you've got Russell Martin, Amorim,
all failing.
Ange, like so many people that just will not. This idea of not being willing to change, and I said this.
Dogmatic managers.
Yeah, it's like it feels like that trend has gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, Russell Martin's having a shocker, isn't he, at Rangers? And Postecoglou probably won't. If he lasts the season, it would be a surprise to me.
Yeah,
he doesn't have. When he had the players at Spurs, it kind of worked, and there were opportunities. But he didn't have. Well, as soon as Van der Ven and Romero's gone, and that would impact any team, but it was so glaring. Like what Forest fans will have to start to accept is that your 2-0 up is not a safe scoreline, as we saw last night, and it never was at Tottenham, and that is something you're gonna have to get used to. That if you lose the ball in the opponent's half, the likelihood is they're going to create a chance out of it. If he does the same thing at Tottenham. If he does the same thing at Forest that he done at Tottenham, you give up so many big chances a game, and it's hard to really sit back and watch it.
What's mad though is that, like, I was thinking about this as well, like with Amorim, like there's been a lot of. I'm not going to go at anyone for this because it feels valid, right? There's a lot of people titling videos, understandably, is this the beginning of the end for Amorim? Like the sort of this long suffering like end to managers, but like is happening more and more. But also the early call of the beginning of the end is happening more. So because like I just found myself naturally there, and again like you've played Arsenal away. First game without a week, you were 2-0 up against Swansea, and you probably I don't even know the team he played, but if I look now, I presume he rotated a little bit. I'm guessing. I guess he probably did a solid amount. Hang on, let's have a quick look. I mean, look, they've got a better squad than they have had before, but yeah, it's a different team, different goalie. I mean, it's a good team. It's a good team. They should be winning, right? To be fair. Igor Jesus up top is new. He's a new signing, but he's not the sort of starter. But anyway, should be winning that, right? But I then found myself going and looking at his fixtures, and I guess we've done this for years, but obviously he's had a tough week and he's lost the first 2 games, right? But then I was going through his game and I was thinking, so they got Burnley. Just get what your reaction is when I said his name. So next run of games, right? You got Burnley away next game.
Yeah.
Right? He's just sort of like, don't lose that. Because then you got Real Betis in the Europa League, which is hard, actually. Then you got Liverpool, which you would be expected to lose. And this is the hard thing for Ange as well. Like, he's got a lot of away games, right? Then the first home game is Leeds at home. Now, you should see like every game is like laden with like, oh no. Because if you don't beat Leeds after that run of games, then the grumblings will like be there. Then they've got Man United at home after that, who are statistically the worst team in the league since Amarin's come through the door. It'd be interesting if they've like, where are they at by that point? Then you've got Bournemouth away, who like Spurs struggled with Bournemouth last year. Then you got Porto in the Europa League. Then you got Chelsea. Then you got Newcastle.
Mate, look the on top of that terrible fixture list, right? On top of that is you've got a manager that was popular before him that deep down Forest didn't want to get rid of, and it was because of the fallout with Marinakis and saying things that he shouldn't have said, and perhaps not agreeing with the recruitment from Edu and whoever else is in charge. When you actually look at the recruitment, I think it was great. I think they had the
recruitment's really good. So he could we said this last week. Like he could absolutely do well. He could, but I think the point we're talking about is like after that defeat yesterday is there's a sort of ugly noise with Ange a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and it's quick.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have much rope really. I think, like I said, when you're replacing a popular manager, that's a problem, and they got used to being competitive and getting good results and being hard to beat in the Premier League. That's the crux of Nuno. What with Ange is, and why it worked at Tottenham, is you've got to remember how bad a state we were in before he came in. You know, we had a terrorist managing the football club. And,
he provided a lot of... He provided light, didn't he? But then it got dark.
Yeah, it got dark. But the point is that we were ready for something, a sea change, whereas Forest fans aren't ready. They're ready to kick on from last year, and such a massive change so quickly is going to be difficult. If it works, and you saw times in that first half against Forest, I only watched the highlights, extended highlights, but you saw at times, that's lovely build-up play. That stuff, being able to score at the back post, build up to the point where you almost cannot miss. When it clicks, it's beautiful to watch, Jim. Like, it's so exciting. When we went to the Etihad and beat them 4-0, I was like, it's clicking. Yeah. It's clicking.
I want him to do well. I still want him to do well. It's fun. It is funny. I think that is worth touching on. Is like the quick nature, and again, like the Russell Martin thing. It'd be interesting to see how Forest fans kind of take to him, because Russell Martin. I mean, maybe there's other stuff at play there, and like, I think there is other stuff at play with Rangers, but their like dislike for him is so severe so quickly. And are we going to see that more and more and more? Like this sort of really quick fire turning on people.
I just think in the Premier League, the punishment for failure, the weight of failure, is so much more significant than anywhere else in the league, in the world.
Why do you say that?
Cannot, because the quality is so much better than anywhere else in the world. So all the things that are saying, like, you can get away with playing it when you're clearly the best side in the world in Celtic. And best side in the league, rather. But when you, like what I mentioned earlier, when you lose the ball, the likelihood is, if you lose the ball in the positions Spurs consistently lost the ball in, they are going to be in or have a great chance. And they get that by doing nothing but being compact and waiting for a mistake to be made. If you have brilliant one-on-one players who can pull a defender out of shape or beat a man and get a cross in consistently, and you can rely upon that, like Kudus, for example, you kind of rely on him being able to get the ball back with Bukayo Saka, for example. You know that he's going to do something with the ball. The problem Tottenham had is that we didn't have that quality of player. And so, and I know Amari Hutchinson's really good. I really like him. Hudson-Odoi is really good as well. Those players will give up the ball. And when they do, they'll be punished. And they get punished over and over again. And when the system doesn't shift significantly enough to compensate for that, it's tough. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, though.
Will he succeed?
No, he will not succeed. I don't think he probably won't make the season.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, do any managers really succeed? You just succeed long enough.
Hang around for enough.
Yeah, yeah, for long enough to. I guess Nuno obviously succeeded. The other thing, I thought Jamie Carragher made a really good point that, like, Forest last year, they were quite lucky with injuries. And so when you're just like
overperformed at XG as well, didn't they? For a lot part of it.
So when you're then, they have brought in a lot of players, but like when you like put your foot down on the pedal, are their bodies going to be able to like deal with it? That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Do you know what? Spurs, third in the league, joint top of the Champions League places. I mean,
it's all right, joint top.
I mean, I'm not even gonna chuck it out there that they, you know, you won a trophy last year, but you know, you'd had that horrible season, and it wasn't gonna, you know, something like this year. It's not about that. It's not about that this year. No, you know, it's not about silverware. It's just not going to happen. I don't think.
Of course not.
I mean, nah, it's not. No, I mean, Tom Frank's doing a good job. He's doing all right. I think he's doing all right. But there's doing that, and Frank, he's never really, won the playoff final.
What experience has he got, Jim?
He has won a playoff. Well, he has won. I mean, he's not won a major. He's not won. Well, I would consider it a major trophy. You wouldn't.
Yeah, but there's one thing operating in a domestic playoff. This is a tournament that is a couple of games and then you won it, but no Champions League pedigree to his name, is there, Jim?
Yeah. So I think it's good to get. It'd be great if you can get through the group. I don't see someone as pragmatic as him will maybe get you through the group, but to win those cup ties and go the whole way, can't see it happening. If I'm honest. Yeah. Good to know.
Let's just not put. Let's just enjoy our football, shall we? Let's enjoy our football, Jim.
Okay. You are doing well, though, aren't you? He's good, and he's got great hair, hasn't he? Got great hair. The little flick out. It's just wonderful.
So good. It's good. Like he is a bit of a weird little gremlin as well, but I kind of love him for it. Just quickly though, just to round off the lovely Nottingham Forest chat, and it's important that the smaller clubs get a little bit of limelight, isn't it? We're not just talking about the big six all the time, are we?
Yeah.
Some of these teeny tiny little football clubs need to be talked about sometimes. Does Nuno save West Ham if he goes there? 100%. That'd be the best thing they could do. Get Potter out. He's fucking useless. Bring in Nuno. Save your season.
The Portuguese Moyes, isn't he? Nuno a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, West Ham fans, do you want him back? You know he'll save your season. You know he'll keep you up. I'm not sure West Ham stay up with Potter. I don't know if they will. I have them in my bottom three currently.
I mean,
and they are in the bottom three, but also
Villa down there as well.
Yeah, they'll get out of it.
Will they be all right?
But what I'm saying is, like, if it's your West Ham, what do you do here, right? Because David Moyes was hounded out for, and I understand it, and I agree with you. You should be able to look up and ask for a better brand of football, right? It's fine for West Ham fans to want that, and that's kind of like TalkSport going, be careful what you wish for. Not all of TalkSport, but some of the people on there. You'll never have better than this. This is who you are, and that's bullshit. You shouldn't be able to aspire for more. So I didn't have any issue for West Ham fans trying to get rid of Moyes at all. But the problem is they've got in Potter, who isn't. It's not that much more exciting brand of football to watch, really, or we haven't seen it necessarily. But Nuno comes in, and not only does he keep you up, next year he probably top half finish, maybe. I mean, but what are you doing? You're kind of going back.
Are you sure about that? What? Nuno? How are you sure about that? Are you sure that he does?
I think we had we spoke about this on, I don't know where I was actually. It might have been on the club, and he was talking about. The question was: Is Nuno the most underrated manager in the Premier League in recent times? Because he took Wolves to a 7th place finish. Yeah. Right? And he nearly got into the Champions League with Forest. You're talking about what is success for a manager. Those are two successful spells. All right, it didn't end well.
I would say both those squads were better than people give them credit for.
Probably.
But he did set them up in a very clear, distinct... Well, in particular, Forest. Actually, both, sorry. Like, in terms of like the back three and it working... both of those teams in a very distinct way, and it worked. It really, really worked.
So my point is to West Ham fans is what do you want? Do you want him to come and save? Are you worried about relegation? I don't know. Speaking of clubs on the up, Jim. Good bit of the weekend. Keep you up.
Yeah, look, everyone wants to talk about the 7-1. And, that's fine.
You're fine with that.
Back-to-back victories.
Is that good?
Sorry. Please. I couldn't do a little one. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like this. I couldn't do a little one. I was like, please, fucking please do something. I was talking to Neve did Dream Teams this week on the Ripple Effect. Went through her team. She was talking about the 2017-18 season from Bolton when they stayed up on the last day. And while she was chatting, I quickly looked up the table, and so I was looking at the teams down the bottom, and I went, "Oh, I wonder where keep 16th." Just like, fuck's sake, mate.
Mate. look, think of how much money has gone in that like financially doped football club, Birmingham City, like really been given every opportunity to succeed, and should be going up given all the money that's been absolutely piled into that football club. Like there's no two worse examples of financial doping than Birmingham City and Wrexham. And Birmingham City, where do they find themselves? I mean, Birmingham City, where do they find themselves? Exactly where QPR find themselves.
2 points of the playoffs currently. So, oh no, hang on. Oh, everyone's won games. Oh no, I'm looking at last season. Don't worry.
What, Jim? But what I want to know is, what are you seeing? I've seen results.
What am I seeing?
I've seen 3-1.
That's a good question.
What are you seeing?
What am I seeing? I'm seeing a couple of it's coming together. I would say. I think. Look, Wrexham, Hollywood FC, as they call themselves. I think they call themselves that. They look. It's probably a good time to play them, to be honest. But what I like about our team is we've got a nice little balance knocking about there. Richard Kone, I implore anyone, go and watch our win against Wrexham 3-1, which was after beating Charlton 3-1 at home. We've got Stoke on Saturday, the Craig Beresford James Allcott derby, and
is Craigie going?
Yeah. Well, he lives around that way, isn't he? Yeah. But yeah, they've been in the doldrums for a long time as well. We've definitely, in the last 3 months, we've been in the pub together going, like, what is this? Like, what's the point? But under Mark Robbins, they're starting to catch fire. 12 points from first 5 games, currently 1 point off the top. And they come to Loftus Road, and they'll be the favourites, naturally. But especially after a team, we're a team that's lost 7-1 just a couple of games ago. But if we win that game, then maybe we've got ourselves a team here. What I love is we've got this Richard Cody, guys, the closest thing to Les Ferdinand I've seen since Les Ferdinand at QPR. He's awesome.
He's the one that scored that goal on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
Oh, what a peach.
What a peach it was. But what's really interesting, which I think, again, get yourself down to Loftus Road, because if you want to see real fans not looking at their phones, you want to hear the bang, 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 bang. If you want your shins bruised, if you want poor food, all the beautiful things of football, but you also want to see essentially 2 up top. That's what QPR are slowly moving towards, it feels like at the moment. Because Richard Cohn is playing up top with Burrell. I always struggle to say his first name. Roman Burrell. Roman Burrell is just like a speedboat. So if you watch those Wrexham goals, the third goal that we score is basically Jimmy Dunn just walloping the ball over the top, and the centre-back's gone panic, and Burrell's come through and done great work and slotted it home. So we've got 2 up top. So if you miss seeing two guys up top, come down to Loftus Road. Try and get yourself a ticket. For just £40. I don't know, mate. Like, I think we're obviously, there's too much money in the league, you would imagine. It'd have to all come together. But I would say this, it's the best squad we've had there in a long time. Is
it a little bit vulnerable defensively?
Well, we have lost the game 7-1, so probably.
Yeah. Well, just looking at the Wrexham game and looking at the stats here, and I don't want to burst your bubble or anything, Jim, but they look like they were all over you.
In the first half, they were. But who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
But the point is that if we can score, it's about scoring goals, isn't it? So if you've got a goal scorer, like against Charlton, he went through on goal right in the last few minutes, Richard Kono. And it's the first time when someone goes on goal, everyone will understand this. You have a chemical reaction in your body, and your body goes, yep or no. Yeah. Simple as that. You go through and you go, go on. And you're either concerned or not. I've never, and I heard Clive Whittingham say this as well. He's a lot for words, guys, and on his Patreon podcast. He said, we both felt the same thing. Which, when he went through, I've never been more comfortable. I knew it was, you knew he was going to score. Bit like last night. I was watching Liverpool and it went to 2-2. And I don't know if it was just because they got a couple of corners and they kept showing Virgil van Dijk. But I don't care, obviously, but I didn't really have any tension watching those last few minutes as Liverpool were pushing. I was absolutely certain Virgil van Dijk was going to score from a header, from a corner. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they kept showing him a bit too much, but I just thought, well, he'll do that. That's what Liverpool do. And Richard kind of going through, he's got that striker's quality, and we've not had a player. So you can lose the XG battle because we've got a lad who's going to take the chance, and that can be the difference. So, who bloody knows, mate? I just want to feel something.
And right now, you feel something.
I'm a victory away on Saturday from possibly feeling something, and that's an that's an exciting place to be. I don't know. I think you want to feel something again. I think I do. I think I need to. I think that's all I want. Like, not all I want. I'm like, hurry up now.
It hurts.
I know it hurts. I want to be hurt.
Right.
I want to be hurt.
You got to feel something, otherwise you're not alive, are you? Whether it's pain,
look, I'm scared of it. Like, I don't want to get pegged, but maybe I need to get pegged again. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been pegged for years. I've been pegged for years. Yeah, maybe, yeah. And naturally, you are afraid of getting pegged, but maybe I need to get pegged.
There's always a nervous energy before getting pegged, for sure. But
yeah.
And essentially, you got to relax and breathe.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly that.
Get through anything.
Because I don't know what's on the other side of that. It's been so long. But maybe there's a G spot on the other side.
I don't know. Shed.
Yeah.
No, apparently there is. There's the male G spot is in the.
That's what I've heard. But as we have spoken about in the mailbag, I'm actually stay away from me with that stuff.
Get away.
I'm too afraid. Maybe I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid.
You got to relax, Jim.
Yeah.
Just don't stick a finger up my ass. I will relax if you don't stick a finger up my ass.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that came out. It was because I was in the shed.
Yeah.
Okay. Power move we'll finish with. Good to know your thoughts on this. I thought the comments were interesting as well. So mocking commenter, 80 likes on this. I hit an elite power move counter the other day at work. So a little counter press power move. So a co-worker and I were mid-conversation, and she raised a leg onto an elevated platform by which we stood and began stretching as we spoke.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. I thought you was going to say that she's done something much worse than that, so I'm fine with it so far.
Okay. So a co-worker and I, mid-conversation, she raised a leg onto an elevated platform by which she stood and began stretching as we spoke. This was a fairly typical power move, though unexpected. My response? Meta. I simply laughed and said, "Damn, that's a power move," as she retreated, as though discomforted by my overt statement.
God, that's terrible.
The final blow, however, was how I reversed the dynamic, as I then laughed at her retreat and permitted her to continue stretching. No, you carry on. This established my superiority, as I was no longer the victim of this act, but rather the one allowing it to happen. And in that moment, this is my favourite bit, and in that moment I thought, wow, James and Uncle Pooh need to hear about this. I love that. The idea that things are going on in people's week, and they go, I've got to tell James and Flav about this. That I live for that. I absolutely live for that.
I don't want to burst your bubble though, mate, but I don't think you did what you think you did.
Okay.
I think you've just scared a woman.
Yeah.
I think you've just scared a woman. You've made a woman feel uncomfortable. And you'll always be seen as that man who...
Yeah.
Oh, there's that geezer who said that thing about me when
couldn't deal with me having a stretch.
Yeah.
Wasn't comfortable enough in his own skin to allow me to just stretch.
It was he made it into a sexual thing.
Oh, do you think?
Probably. No, I don't think he meant to, but that's the way he'll always be seen. What's his name? What's the geezer's name?
Mocking commenter.
Oh, that's a shame. Let's see his name. Peter. He'll be named Pervy Pete now.
Pervy Power Move Pete. Would be good to get a sense check from Catherine if you are listening, just on like what's just happened there. Daniel Marsh replied, he said, I think instead of releasing the tension by recognising the power move and pointing it out, you could have entered the silent arena with her, both going stretch for stretch. Perhaps an elbow resting on your lower thigh, leaning deeper and listening more intently to one another as you went.
That is beautiful.
Interesting. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. It is like, why are you stretching in front of me?
Yeah,
male or male or female. I'm not sure. I don't know.
So I might have mentioned this before, but I remember like when I used to go to the gym, there was like a bloke, Greek bloke. I'm just only telling you that so that you can kind of create a mental image of an archetypal Greek man.
Sure.
And he would be naked, and he would have his foot up on the
hairy
bench.
shoulders.
Relatively hairy. I mean, I'm not abnormally hairy. Like my mate John Bass is the hairiest man I've ever met, and he's
it's wild that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, and he's got his foot up, and he's dong, and I'll call it a dong because it was massive. This geezer's cock, and he'd just be drying between his legs. And I'm like, what is it?
How was he drying? Was he drying like that?
He was sort of doing.
Hang on. Wait. Just so people can see it. Go on. And again. Oh, wow. That's mental.
Yeah. That is mental. But I'm like, what is it about that door to this changing room?
Yeah.
That means that you suddenly think it's okay to flap your cock out everywhere. Like, if that door was open, you wouldn't. If you were standing on the other side of that door, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So why is it now I have to be exposed to this? And your massive truncheon.
Just to go back to that, just because I've thought of a new bit. Do you ever have moments you go, why did I say that? So like you might be feeling that now, mocking commenter. But if you've had a moment, go, why have I said that? Like you're just gutted with yourself down the road.
Yeah, 100%.
Let us know. We'll read out. And if it was funny, we can read it out next week.
On the podcast, I said the words on the Fighting Cock podcast yesterday, and I'm embarrassed by it because I want to be taken seriously. I've started the lab, which is a serious conversation. And I'm thinking, like, if I've asked someone to come on the pod, they might listen to the Fighting Cock. And yesterday, they would have heard me say, I wonder what it would be like to play Thomas Frank like a trombone. That's what I said. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, what am I doing? I don't even want to say that shit anymore.
What was the context?
The context started from like being in the situation where if you're going down on a woman from behind, it sounds good, but it's actually quite tricky. And then we got on to what it would be like. How would you, if you had to in that situation, nosh off someone, then what method would you use? Perfect.
Oh, wow. Whoa,
what we got?
Wowee. Hooray for heroes. Fireman Sam book. Yeah. Shall I come read it? Yeah, I think we best end the podcast. I think that's best, isn't it?
That is sensational.
Say, who do you want? Look who it is. Who is it?
Uncle Pooh.
Who is that? Who's that? There, who's that? Uncle. Oh, he's doing dragon roars. Uncle who?
Uncle Raw.
Who is it? It's Uncle Pooh. Uncle Pooh. Say it louder. Uncle. Right, that was the Jaffin podcast in all its glory. Wow. I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves, and